Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
And I'm Maggie.
And we are
Hopefully Awesome.
That's right, a positive place on the internet where we nerd out about all the geeky things we love. And today's geeky thing includes the DC universe.
That's it, y'all.
And that's it.
That's all,
folks. This is a
folks.
special episode of the Hopefully Awesome show. Each week we usually recap all of the coolest and funnest, nerdiest news from the past week. But this week we had a huge just dump of DC news from James Gunn and Peter Safran. So we have decided, instead of trying to, fit other stuff and make a 4-hour episode, we're just going to focus solely on this. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope you enjoyed this. Be sure and come back next week when we'll talk about other things. We had a whole bit in here about Tron 3, but it's got skipped over. Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
We can probably talk about Better Call Saul next week.
And we can talk about Megan, and the shotgun wedding. We got plenty of stuff we're going to talk about next week. All right, you're definitely going to want to come out and
Matt's
see it.
birthday?
Oh, yeah. But, before we talk about all that, we need to talk about this, because it's time for the news.
Good news, everyone.
Main topic.
Only topic.
Only topic.
Our Lord and Savior, James Gunn.
Oh my god. Oh, dressed like a bat. I can dig it. So here we go. So there was a video released. The Tuesday, the 31st.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And it just happened recently. And
yeah.
So I guess there was a few things that happened when it comes to the DC stuff. There was actually a press conference on Monday, but all the stuff from that didn't get released until the video went live on Tuesday. So I've got a lot of threads that I've tried to interweave into this basket of DC news. Okay. So I had to jump over to some places, stitch this in here, cut this out, all that bunch of stuff.
So you had to break out the encyclopedias.
The Encyclopedia Brown
And thesaurus.
Maggie, thesauruses are extinct for millions of years.
You know what a thesaurus is, you.
Via Variety, James Gunn and Peter Safran announced DCU Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Now, before we go any further, we're already taking a stop here. There was a movie.
Gods and Monsters, wasn't it?
No. There was Egypt. Gods and something.
Gods and...
It wasn't monsters.
Gods and something. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, because wasn't Christian Bale Moses? wasn't that it?
I don't know. Christian Bale's Batman, man. He can't be Moses.
Gods of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt.
That's what it was. Again, this is not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure everybody remembers that movie.
Okay.
No, there was Justice League. League. Gods.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 2015 film.
Animated.
Animated. This is it right there.
Yeah.
So everybody, just so you can see what we're talking
terrifying, the guy with the red eyes.
It was I want to say this was an original film. They got Bruce Timm to make this.
Ooh.
And so it's the Trinity, right? It's Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Superman is Zod. Batman is a vampire. Now, I don't know if he's Man-Bat or if there's another
vampire.
And then Wonder Woman was like a bad Wonder Woman. I don't know. Oh, I think it was somebody from Apocalypse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of those.
That would make sense.
Yeah. And
Granny Goodness.
It was not Granny Goodness, though I would have loved that. But yeah, I watched it. It wasn't good. So the fact that this is called Gods and Monsters, I'll just be honest. The first time I heard him say that, I was already in a state of shit.
He went, oh no.
Well, because here's the thing. All right. I love DC Comics. Okay,
yeah.
I'm a DC Comics person. I'm wearing a shirt right now that says Batman v Superman was a good movie. And is that to support kind of funny? Yeah. But I also thought Batman v Superman was a good movie. And so, like, I'm not super into the dark side of the DCU, okay?
Not like me.
I mean, Constantine's cool.
I love
You know,
Constantine.
and
Yes.
Zatanna, right?
Yeah.
But wait, what was you about to say?
Because Keanu Reeves. I remember them talking about doing another Constantine film.
They are. They're finally doing it.
They are doing
Yeah,
it.
they officially do.
They got the go ahead
talk about
from
it
the
next
big
week.
wigs.
No, we'll talk about it next week.
No, they didn't.
No, they did. I think they got permission before James Gunn and them came back.
Oh, okay. Well,
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
good.
But I'm just not huge into the monster stuff.
Yeah,
like there's
gotcha.
like Etrigan, the demon who only talks in riddles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And well, I mean, of course, Swamp Thing. Which
Thing.
the more I find out about Swamp Thing, the more
He's
I like
pretty.
him.
He's
Like,
pretty rad.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
I'm more of a Man Thing kind of guy.
I know.
More than Swamp Thing, you know.
You know what I mean?
Man versus Swamp. I'm gonna go man every time. You know what I'm saying?
So you'd rather do?
This is gonna be 5 hours long.
You'd rather go with a Man Thing?
Yes. Because then I know at least what I'm expecting. You know what I'm saying? Hey, nothing wrong with it. Thank you. Nothing wrong with it. All right. I mean, the swamp. Remember Lana fell in a swamp one time. I digress.
Okay, we need to get going.
But, you know, there's just all that kind of... Frankenstein, I think, was somebody at one point. Maybe.
Van Helsing?
iRobot? Or zombie? Or no. Vampire. That's what it was. Yeah. When the new 52 launched, it was a whole thing. Anyway. So, the fact that and Monsters is playing a large part in just the title was already like...
I don't know, guys.
All right, James Gunn, let's hear how freaking weird this is going to get. I'm down for whatever's about to happen. It can't be worse than what we've been getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, next part of the story.
Wow.
We've only read one sentence. 3 months after James Gunn and Peter Safran officially started running the newly created DC Studios with Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers Discovery, the co-chiefs have announced the first 10 films and TV titles within the rebooted DC universe. Quote, DC Studios is unprecedented, Safran said. It is a standalone production entity and studio. It is the first time ever that everything DC related, film, television, live action, animation, gaming, is all centralized under one creative vision, that of James and myself. What does he mean by when he says film, television, live action? What is it?
He's repeating himself.
Well,
I think
what
he
is
got
live action? What else could that be?
Plays.
Like a stage show?
Plays. Musicals.
So wait. You're telling me
Musicals.
when goddamn Batman on Ice comes to Freedom Hall that James Gunn had his hands in that?
Yes. Make it happen. The Batcapades. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I mean, it'd have to be about Mr. Freeze, right? I mean, obviously.
Obviously. And
What should
also,
be about like Poison Ivy or some shit?
No, it has to be about Dr. Freeze, and they have to do the bat dance in it.
Mr. Freeze.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Freeze. Sorry.
He didn't get his doctorate yet.
How dare you,
He
Freeze.
should be a doctor, though,
He
right?
should be a doctor. I always thought he was a doctor because of all the research he's doing for his wife.
Yeah, I mean, he's a scientist, but
Yeah.
he's just Mr. Freeze.
Anyways,
Anyway.
we digress.
So, to build the overarching story for the DCU, Gunn brought together a writer's room of Drew Goddard, who wrote Cloverfield and Cabin in the Woods, and many, many other things. I think he actually directed Cabin in the Woods also. But he wrote The Martian. That's what they've plugged in here for this
of
freaking
course.
story. Yeah. Jeremy Slater, who worked on Moon Knight. Christina Hobson, who worked on The Flash and Batgirl. And I'm assuming that's the show The Flash, because it's The Flash. It's not Flashpoint. Or wait, is The Flash still called Flashpoint, or is it called The Flash?
I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Flashy Flash.
Crystal Henry, who worked on The Watchmen. I'm assuming the show. That's what I'm assuming.
I think that's what they're hitting for.
And comics writer Tom King
Heck yeah.
worked on
our
Batman.
boy.
That's right. Tom King is fantastic. If you haven't read his Batman run, just stop watching us right now and go read it. It's just so GD good. Okay. It's just fantastic. And he also did Mr. Miracle and a few other. Oh, he did that Crosses book, Identity Crosses. That one was crazy.
Yeah, that one was crazy. I loved reading that one.
No, wait, it wasn't Identity Crosses. It was Heroes and Crosses. Identity Crosses is a different one. You've read Heroes and Crosses. Heroes and Crosses is the one where they're talking to the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the safe house or whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
Identity Crosses was back before Final Crosses.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a while ago.
Gotcha.
Anywho, Gunn indicated that at least some of these writers would continue working on DCU projects. Quote, "We sat down in a room for a few days and we started to bash out what the basic overall plan would be," Gunn said. "Not so much that it ties your wrists, but enough that we know what the basic story is, where we're going, and it's something that we'll continue to do." All in, the slate that the co-leads announced on Monday will run through the year 2027. So we got 4 years, 10 movies and shows. So that's where we're at so far. The first one we're going to touch on right now announced was Superman Legacy. That is the title of the James Gunn written Superman movie. Set to open on July 11th, 2025, so we're only 2 years away from this. Superman Legacy will mark the start of the DCU, as Safran put it, but it will not be an origin story of the proverbial Man of Steel. It focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing, Safran said. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. He is kindness in a world that thinks of kindness as old-fashioned. I'm already loving everything they're saying.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest right now. This sounds phenomenal. Gunn is writing the project, and Safran said he hopes Gunn can be persuaded perhaps to direct as well. Gunn, sitting right next to Safran, remained uncharacteristically poker-faced in response. James Gunn says that they didn't fire Henry Cavill. Henry was never cast. For me, it's about who do I want to cast as Superman and who do the filmmakers we have want to cast. And for me, for this story, it isn't Henry. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav made no secret that rebooting Superman was a top priority for the company, as he spent much of 2022 searching for the right leaders of the DC studios. So it's little surprise Gunn and Safran are turning to the most recognizable superhero in the world to lead the charge for the DCU. Superman is for everyone, Gunn said. That's a 4-quadrant film that should speak to everyone in the world. That's it for Superman Legacy. Let's discuss.
Makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Makes sense. He's one of the most recognizable superheroes around.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I would say was one of the most recognizable. Yeah. Unfortunately. Not through any fault of the character of Superman. But I mean, you look at, especially all the Marvel stuff now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, Superman has stood the test of time for 80 plus years,
Yes.
So I have no doubt that they'll be able to knock this out. I love the fact that he's saying that, kindness. Mm-hmm. Like when they're given the elevator pitch for this, they specifically use the word kindness. I feel like that's great.
Yes.
Like you want that in there. I also thought it was interesting that it said this will mark the start of the DCU. So as we go through this, we're going to see a few more, few things that they talk about of dates and stuff. Mm-hmm. So this is not the first thing being released under the new regime. I mean, obviously they've got the 4 films, and we'll touch on that here in a minute. Mm-hmm. But as far as like actually from start to finish under their control, this isn't the first one. And so it's just interesting that they're saying that this will mark the start of the DCU. So I wonder if they're looking at it like, like these other things are there, but like this is really going to be like the center piece, I guess, to really bring in all of the new DCU stuff? Like, do they mean from like a universal standpoint?
I think it's just going to lay the groundwork for, whoever's going to be the central baddie,
Oh, so you think it'll be like that far?
Yeah, well, sort of, or one of the big baddies. I don't know what to say.
Like Dark
managers
Side or something. The big
assistant
bads.
managers.
The big bads.
Yeah, the big bads.
Yeah. The bosses. Yeah.
Assistant managers.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that makes sense. And I guess, like, I don't know, especially with stuff that they say later on in this, and maybe it'd be best to just start reading the rest of it. But when they say stuff later on about not wanting to be like Marvel, they don't specifically call that out. But, kind of tiptoeing around that. It's interesting that they're saying this is the start of the DCU.
Yeah.
And I don't know, again, phrasing it as the DCU, I think that means like this is the start of our universe.
Yeah.
And not necessarily like the production studio.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense right now?
I think you are. I think you are.
Let me know in the comments.
Does Matt make sense?
Does that make sense? I need to know. Because if I'm not, then I need to fix something. But speaking of fixing something, let's fix this word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/hopefullyawesome.
That's right. At the $5 tier, you can have access to every episode we make ad-free and have your name listed in the credits of every video. At $10, you'll be able to get access to our all-new exclusive shows right here on patreon.com/hopefullyawesome. Those include Hopefully Weekly, a weekly show where Maggie and I catch up on all the things that's happened over the past week, both in our life and in the world around us. Family Game Night, a weekly show where Maggie and I will play a variety of board games, from Blockbuster Party Game all the way to Fast and the Furious Heist Game, whatever that is.
Highway heist.
The Hopefully Awesome movie commentary that we'll do once a month, where Maggie and I will watch one of our favorite films and then record us talking about it over it. Kind of like a mix between Mystery Science Theater 3000 and, just us goofing off and talking about nothing related to the film. And lastly, Matt plus Maggie. This is our monthly show where Maggie and I talk about our relationship. I don't think we'll be giving any advice, but hey, tune in. It'll be fun. And if you want to go above and beyond at the $25 level, not only do you get everything that we've just talked about, but you also get a verbal shout out as our Patreon producer of the entire month. All this and more.
So sign up at patreon.com/hopefullyawesome today.
Thank you for that word, Matt and Maggie. We will be sure and do those things. But now let's get back to the story. So the next property, again, we're going to talk about all the movies first, and then we'll talk about the shows. So the next movie that they talked about was called The Authority. So this says, from global fame to relative obscurity, Superman Legacy will lead directly into The Authority, an ensemble movie about superhumans who have a less than idealistic approach to saving the world. The boys. Gunn spoke at some length about The Authority, a project he said he's really excited to bring to life. The characters come from Wildstorm, which was launched in 1992 as an independent entity under current DC Comics chief Jim Lee, and ultimately made an imprint of DC. The Wildstorm characters were later folded into the main DC Comics universe when the company rebooted its continuity within the New 52 initiative in 2011. Gunn said he and Safran intend to do the same with Wildstorm characters in the DCU. There's more to it, but was you about to say something?
No, it's just it's just interesting.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Did you know that that's how Jim Lee got to be part of the...
Because he was part of that.
Yeah, like basically they merged.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Pixar was bought out by Disney. Then John Lasseter became like the head of Disney Animation.
Mm-hmm.
Similar situation.
Yeah, okay. Is Jim Lee still working for DC?
Under current DC Comics chief Jim Lee, yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. I think the other guy, Dan DiDio, I think he's the one that left.
He's the one that left.
Yeah, I think
I was afraid Jim Lee left. I was like, God, man. He's such a good artist.
He is. He's fantastic.
I love him.
As a comic, The Authority was created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch as an ends justify the means superhero team, an approach that appealed to Gunn and Safran's desire to diversify the storytelling within the DCU.
Okay.
It isn't just a story of heroes and villains, and not every movie and TV show is going to be about good guys versus bad guys, Gunn said. There are people that are very questionable, like the Authority, who basically believe that you can't fix the world in an easy manner, and they take things into their own hands.
The boys.
The boys.
The boys.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm sure the boys came out later than the Authority when it was created.
But we've been watching the boys.
Yeah. I mean, there's worse things to take inspiration from.
Yeah.
I'd much rather them do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Added Safran. They're kind of like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. They know that you want them on the wall, or at least they believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what he said. Sorry, I butchered that quote. Gunn said the film is being written now, but he declined to say who was the screenwriter. So yeah, very interesting second announcement. Like you start with Superman, and then we go to the Authority. Just a very
and everybody's like, "What the?" Is the full,
I mean, not your number one. Not even an A tier.
No.
You know what I mean?
But that's him though.
Yeah,
He goes for the ones that are underdogs. He loves that.
I mean, one thing I know that they're not trying to compare themselves to Marvel.
No.
But I think it's definitely interesting seeing their take, how it differs.
Yes.
And, when we hear about Phase 1, of Marvel, it was Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the Hulk, and Avengers. Obviously Iron Man 2 was in there.
Yeah.
And, you knew those names.
Yes. But these, no.
Yeah, like, they're like, you know what? Here we go. We're going to do the Authority, right? And it's just an interesting
I mean, that's how
idea.
I felt about the Guardians of the Galaxy. I
Yeah.
had no clue what they were.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Anything. So and I guess Peter Safran, too, also loves those underdogs.
Yeah. Well, he worked with him on, I think on a lot of stuff, but at the very least he worked with him on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And I mean, that, of course. I mean, look at Peacemaker.
Jesus, I love Peacemaker.
One of the best DC properties we've had in the past, 6
Yeah.
years. One of the only
Suicide
properties.
Squad was good. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. No, I love the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, both of those are just phenomenal.
Yes.
Anyway, anything else you want to say about that before I go to the next one? All right. The next movie they announced was The Brave and the Bold, along with introducing the DCU's version of Batman, who will exist separately from the version played by Robert Pattinson in the Batman movies. The Brave and the Bold will introduce the Bat family, Gunn said.
Yes.
First among them is Robin, who is returning fully to live-action movies for the first time since 1997's ill-fated feature Batman and Robin.
That's crazy.
This version of Robin is Damian Wayne. Gunn
About
described him
dang
as
time,
our
y'all.
favorite Robin, a little son of a bitch, an assassin, and a murderer. Damian is Bruce Wayne's biological son, a fact unknown to Wayne for the first 8 to 10 years of Damian's life. It's a very strange sort of father-son story about the two of them, Gunn said. The project is based on the run of Batman comics authored by Grant Morrison, who Gunn said was exceptionally influential on the DCU. The other comics writer Gunn mentioned by name was Tom King, who participated in the DCU Writers Room and leads right into the next feature project, which we will pause before we go into that.
Hello, Damian Wayne.
Oh my God, I'm so freaking excited for this. I mean, here's the thing. Damian Wayne makes the most sense as a Robin.
Yes.
Yes.
There's
always been that, well, how do we work Batman into working with a teenager?
Yeah.
How do we work that into a story?
Yeah.
And most of the time, I mean, it works in comics, don't get me wrong. And even in the animated stuff, it works.
Yes.
But live action, it is.
It's hard.
It's odd. It can get odd, and usually they just age them up to, 18, 19 or whatever. But why would Val Kilmer adopt Chris O'Donnell? Chris O'Donnell's a man, he doesn't need to be
a grown man that loves motorcycles. Hello.
Yeah. So I think making Batman and Robin father and son, I think makes a lot more sense.
Yes. It's going to be easier for audiences that are not familiar with that.
Yeah, for sure.
To really handle that better.
And I mean, there's so much stuff in this that they can, pull from the collective knowledge of Batman, the fact that Damian's mom is Talia al Ghul.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that watched, the Dark Knight movies will know, oh yeah, Ra's al Ghul. So this is Ra's al Ghul's grandson.
Fun times.
And like the fact that he was raised by them, and so that makes him an assassin and stuff.
Yes.
So you're kind of circumventing, why would Batman take his 10-year-old son out to fight criminals? Kind of circumventing that because he's already a trained assassin.
He's already done it.
Yeah.
Also, hello, Bat family.
Yeah. Yes.
F yes.
Absolutely. This is great.
It's so fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, going with The Brave and the Bold as the title is such an interesting take. Like we was talking a little bit about it yesterday, how like The Brave and the Bold for some, I mean, it's not it's a title that's been reused a lot.
Yes.
But a lot of the versions of The Brave and the Bold are about team ups.
Yes.
Obviously the Batman Brave and the Bold, the
cartoon
was all about him teaming up with other people. There was a Brave and the Bold run of comics during the New 52 that was just straight up just two people team up for whatever.
Yeah.
Like one was Hal Jordan and
Barry
Allen. Another one was Babs and Dick Grayson. So I mean, like, it was, and they were just very standalone stories. You know? So it's interesting that they're going with Brave and the Bold to title their Batman movie.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to what they're wanting Batman to be in this. Like he's not the specific focus, like it's about the whole.
And
I mean, honestly, that's smart because you've already have the Batman going. Like you don't necessarily need another centered Batman story.
Yeah, that's and that's why I liked. I've talked about this a gazillion times. The Batgirl, Batwoman, Catwoman, New 52s.
Yeah.
Because they were all like in the same universe.
Yeah.
Thank God. And but they all somehow at some point either met up with each other. I know Babs met up with Bruce a lot, or Dick.
Yeah.
And then Catwoman, of course, would run into Batman. Batwoman ran into Babs and Catwoman in her run, I believe.
Well, and they would do the big like family crossover.
Yes.
Like Night of the Owls.
Yeah.
Had, like,
which
every book had all that. Yeah.
But like, just thinking about Brave and the Bold, and if we're getting Bat family stuff, I mean, that could happen, and that makes me so happy.
Dude, getting Nightwing alone would be fantastic. But think about it, if we got like Red Hood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or even Red Robin.
Yeah.
Tim Drake fucking around. Like, I would die for that. I would love that. Especially if they could dig into like the Stephanie Brown Batgirl stuff. I know they're not going to do any of that, and she'd probably just be spoilers. She wouldn't be Batgirl, and I get it. I get it, but I really loved that run. I mean, specifically the one that he's talking about here, about the where's that? Grant Morrison's run on Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Now that came out of I don't know how much you know about this. So Final Crisis, of course, Grant Morrison's epic, whatever.
His baby.
Batman dies at the end of it, right? And there was also in the Bat books, he also died in those. It was confusing, all right? It was a very confusing thing. But this is pre-52, okay? This is around the same time as like Blackest Night was going on.
Okay.
And it turned out Batman was actually stuck in time. Booster Gold had to go save him. It was the whole thing. So while Batman was gone, Dick Grayson took over as Batman. And Robin was Damian. So before that, Batman and Robin was Bruce and Tim Drake. And so Tim Drake was like... Nightwing kicked Tim Drake out of being Robin because he wanted to take care of Damian. And so the way to do that was to make him his Robin. So the whole run of this Batman and Robin run that he's talking about is Dick Grayson as Batman. Yeah.
Oh,
and so that spun out into the... Red Robin Tim Drake series.
Gotcha.
And his girlfriend who had died, but it turned out she wasn't dead. She's the one that becomes Batgirl, and that's Stephanie Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the blonde one.
Yeah.
And her book was written by one of the Smallville writers.
Yeah.
That's why I think I really enjoyed that book. And so like all of that was going on. And I loved it. That whole little bit. Like I have the first several issues of that run. And like that's when the pig guy, like with the meat cleaver, I'm trying
to think of his name.
He looks like a butcher.
Yeah.
You know, I forget what his name is, but like that's when he was
the butcher.
And Red Hood, was popping in that. And I was like, what the hell? What
great.
is going on? I don't understand any of this. And then they were like, hey, here's the new 52. And I was like, well, fuck, I guess it doesn't matter. So anyway,
so good.
all of that to say, like, at that time, that's specifically what was going on.
Okay.
I obviously don't think that Dick Grayson's going to be Batman.
God.
I don't think that's going to be the case. Because they talk about it being his flesh and blood son.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're not obviously going to do that.
No, they're not. I think that'd be more confusing for people to understand.
I mean,
except for comic book nerds.
If they could get to that point, you know?
That'd be great.
And, like, I think especially having the Batman going on right now, choosing to do a fatherly Batman, at the very least, he'll be a little bit older so that he can have a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense as a way to separate these two from being like a very similar story.
Yes.
But at the same time, you know, you kill off Bruce Wayne at the end and Dick Grayson becomes Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be pretty freaking sick, you know?
Man, there's so much they could do.
I gotta say, Red Robin, the original Red Robin outfit, I really love.
Yeah.
When they did New 52, they gave him feathers. Hated that shit.
I think I know.
Stupid.
I think I know what you're talking about because I remember seeing the cover of
Superboy
it.
wasn't even Connor. It was like some other anyway, I'm moving on.
Now my thought came back to me.
Yes.
It'll just be nice to know that we're not getting now. Don't get me wrong. I love Robert Pattinson Batman.
Batten Batterson.
I love Matt Reeves as Batman.
Yes.
The Batman. Don't get me wrong.
Cloverfield's Matt Reeves.
Yes, Cloverfield's beloved Matt Reeves. All I'm saying is it's going to be nice to see Batman engaged with a younger person that that it's just not going to be, oh, woe is me, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there'd probably still be a little.
I know, but like, you know.
I get what you're saying though. Like it's a different role that we've not seen him in.
Yes.
And more than likely will lead to him not being as depressed.
Yeah.
You know, because we always just see him sulking.
Yeah.
You know, and brooding.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure there will still be some.
I'm going to kill Superman.
Martha.
Martha.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Do we still stand by that?
You know, we'll see. But, I mean, now that the universe is dead, I don't know. You know, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But
all right.
yeah, I'm definitely excited for this for sure.
Me too.
And also, sorry, the fact that he name dropped Tom King's run.
Yes.
Of course, we all know. I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Do it.
Spoiler alert for Tom King's Batman run. Okay, if you don't want to know anything,
just skip ahead.
I'm not gonna get into the gritty details, but I'm specifically gonna talk about one big piece of the whole arc. Okay, we ready?
Ready.
All right. So in Tom King's run, Batman and Catwoman get married.
What?
And she gets pregnant with their daughter Helena Wayne, who becomes what's her name? I can't think of her name now.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about. She was in the Birds of Prey. Anyway, but anyway, that whole run is so good, and like seeing Batman try to find love, like, and actually have a piece of existence beyond Gotham, it's just so good. Huntress.
I think it's Huntress, but I'm making sure.
Yeah, you're good. It's just so good. It's fantastic. What?
Come on, y'all.
Type in Helena Wayne.
Helena Wayne. Okay.
Superhero. It should pop up something.
Yes, Huntress.
Huntress, yeah. Now in the New 52, Huntress and Supergirl came over from Earth 2, and she couldn't tell him like who she was, that she was like his daughter and stuff. And Supergirl, that's when she became Power Woman or Power Girl.
Yeah. That's the one with the really weird outfit, isn't it?
The boob window.
Yeah, the boob window.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's weird.
You used to say it made you uncomfortable.
No, I mean, listen, maybe. I was just saying that to you. But anyway, so I love all of that. I love his stuff. There's a big story plot point that involves the Flash from Flashpoint. I'm not going to give in to the details of that.
Yeah.
I don't think that that'll play a part here. I would be surprised if they really leaned into that. I don't know. I feel like that's way more complicated than it needs to be. And you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? With the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, there's no way they're going to do that.
No.
Yeah. It would be way too complicated. Anyway, so yeah, very excited.
Yes.
Very excited for that. So now, next movie, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right. Based on Tom King's comics run of the same title from 2021 and 2022. This is a very recent book. I'm pretty sure the last issue just came out like a month ago.
Oh, God.
Woman of Tomorrow features Superman's cousin, Kara Zor-El, who, as Gunn explained, is a very different type of Supergirl. We see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock chip off of... Wait, what? On a rock chip off of Krypton, and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life. I've actually not read this. I need to read this.
Sounds good.
I may just go buy it like immediately after this episode. Gunn called this Supergirl much more hardcore, though King's series also involves... I didn't read this part. It also involves Crypto the Superdog. Oh my god.
Yay!
I'm gonna die.
Do it. Bring dogs into the superhero verse. Do it.
Somebody needs to stand up for Crypto's good name. All right, after that fucking piss poor
trash
movie we got.
Ace
deserves
do
better.
Ace better. Okay, I'm wearing Batman Beyond.
Maybe Damien gets a
dog.
a dog, and that could be Ace.
Hello,
Yeah.
Batman Beyond. Bruce Wayne has Ace.
That's
That's all I'm
true.
gonna say. That was a travesty.
It was not a good movie.
Like, I came this close to showing my kindergartners it, and then I was like, no, it was crap.
It was definitely one of those times where I wanted to love it a lot more than I did, and so I tried to
so
convince myself that it
crass.
was good, and it's not good. Especially now that Black Adam post-credit scene is even worse. All right.
Enough crapping on the past
Obviously, down with Supergirl.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we're getting a Supergirl movie. Now, of course, there's a Supergirl in the Flash movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if this is... I mean, that's a different universe. Not the Flash, but specifically the Supergirl in this is from a different timeline or whatever. So I don't know if it'll be the same one. I have no idea. It may just be a completely new person. But I love that we're getting that. That they're not shying away from having two super characters.
Yes.
You know? Fuck, people can handle it. You know? Let's get them out there.
Yeah.
People, give me a Power Girl. Or whatever.
So we're going to get the Bat Family stuff, and we're getting Super Family.
Fuck yeah.
About time.
Hell yes. I mean,
About damn time.
You know?
And Liz's words, about damn time.
Get Mon-El out here.
Ooh, which Mon-El?
Give me Steel. What do you mean, Mon-El? What do you mean, which Mon-El?
Like, isn't that Soup's daddy?
No, Jor-El.
Oh, Jor-El. I was supposed to say.
Yeah.
Can we get...
Mon-El isn't a Kryptonian. He's a Daxamite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember. No.
Yeah.
Wait. I didn't mean to deal with that headphones again. Who was it that played him in...
Oh, in Man of
Gladiator.
Steel. Yeah. Russell Crowe.
Can we please bring him back?
I mean, we could.
He was good.
Why not? You know? Would we want to see that?
I don't know.
Do we want a Jor-El movie?
Well, I just meant just bring him back into the movies somehow, like talking to him and stuff. That's all I was talking about.
Okay.
No, I don't want a Jor-El. I don't know if I want a Jor-El movie.
It's just called the Phantom Zone. And he's just fighting people in the Phantom Zone. I mean, I'd watch it.
It would be cool.
That actually doesn't sound too bad. Not that we're, it's just spitballing it,
DC, let's see, wait. Warner Brothers Discovery presents, that's what, presents DC's The Phantom Zone. And it's a TV show, Matt. It's not a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's the Twilight.
Can it have Billy Zane's The Phantom in it?
Yes.
Jesus. We're going to destroy the universe before it even gets off the ground. But yeah, I'm definitely, obviously, very excited. I love the Super family. I'm telling you right now, the day they announce Superboy and it's Connor Kent,
He'll die.
I'll fucking die.
He'll lose it.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started. All right. But if it is not Connell, I will lose it. Okay. If we get Superboy and it's just like, I don't know, not Jonathan Kent, but John Kent.
Oh,
Super,
yeah.
I know you're wrong. I'd still watch it. And
Yeah,
that would still be good.
But Connor's
he
cool.
deserves it. He deserves a chance.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially after in the 90s, they gave him a leather jacket and stuff.
all
man.
the shit they pulled on him in New 52, like, I'm telling you, Young Justice just nailed it.
Yeah,
you know?
they did.
I mean, come on. He's fantastic. He's so good. All right. Anyway, I don't think there's any other super family. I mean, obviously Steel, which, I mean, whatever. That'd be fun.
Shaquille
Eradicator. A Lex Luthor movie could happen. I mean, I'd watch it as long as it's not Jesse Eisenberg.
Michael Rosenbaum.
It could be. I mean, they are very good friends.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he did comment. Michael Rosenbaum did on his tweet.
I could see more of a Smallville like animated series happening more than like a Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor movie. Okay, like it could happen, but I don't know. You got an eyelash. Sorry.
I would pay top dollar to see that movie.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see it for another 4 years because we got to finish Smallville first. We're only watching one episode a week, so we got a little bit to go.
No, we do.
Anyway, definitely excited for Super Family.
Yeah.
All right. The last movie that they announced is called Swamp Thing. That's right. So easily the most extreme example of Gunn and Safran's conviction to diversify. I thought it said dissatisfy.
Dissatisfy all fans around the world.
To diversify the DCU, Swamp Thing will investigate the dark origins of Swamp Thing. Safran said, through the prism of horror. By way of explaining further, Gunn referenced the initial reactions to the Guardians of the Galaxy joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe and initial questions about how Rocket Raccoon would work standing next to Thor. The mashup quality wound up being one of the highlights of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, Gunn argued. Gunn said they're one-upping the approach with Swamp Thing.
Yes.
This is a much more horrific film, but we'll still have Swamp Thing interact with the other characters, he added. Now, I gotta say, there was, in the New 52, I keep referencing that, but there was the guy...
It was a good run, man.
Scott Snyder, I think was his name, and he wrote Batman stuff, the Court of Owls and all that.
Yeah.
He also did a run for Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay.
And this guy at G2K kept telling me, like begging me to just order the first issue, that I would love it.
You'd love it.
I was like, I don't know, man. The Swamp Thing, like, I don't know. I'm not really into like magic and shit. And he's like, God damn it. So this guy working there bought it for me. All right. He was like, I bought this for you.
Aww.
Read it. And I read it and it was good. I didn't get any others.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on a budget. I could only afford like $5 a week, Forever
great.
Evil was just around the corner, So I mean, it was really good though. And like he like interacted with Superman and they like he had died, the guy that becomes Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like he like it's like he transforms into almost like the Hulk in the comic. I don't know. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs.
He's a hard one to figure out.
But like he had died, and so him and Superman were talking about how they had both died. Yeah. But then there was like the green is like the power, and it's like the power of the earth. Right?
Yeah.
In
the animated movie.
Just like Dark.
Yeah. They talk about him doing that.
Well, in the same New 52 in Earth 2.
Yeah.
Alan Scott, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
His power also comes from the green.
Ah.
Yeah. But he is the Green Lantern of that Earth. Because the Green Lantern wasn't like a space Green Lantern in Earth 2. He was like a magic based one. He's the railroad guy.
Ooh, I would have liked him.
Yeah, you really
magic magic-based
But in, like,
superheroes all over them.
In the reworking of him for the New 52, they
Yeah.
were like, oh, we'll just say he's part of the Green.
Zatanna.
Yeah. I think Zatanna may have been a part of it. Maybe it was Zatara. Anyway. What do you think, Maggie? What do you think about Swamp Thing?
I mean, I'm interested. I know a lot of people. I know when they tried it years ago.
Oh, the show?
Yeah.
On DC
See,
Universe?
yeah. I know, like, when it was announced, a lot of people got super hyped about it.
Yeah. And it was James Wan, I believe. I think it was his.
I think you're right.
Did Aquaman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And The Conjuring and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that was his.
Yeah.
And it got canceled.
Yeah.
Got shit canned.
Yeah, because apparently it was pretty rough. I think.
Just not good.
I think so.
I mean,
It was
Constantine got the boot also.
Yeah, it did.
Even though that dude was really good as Constantine.
Yeah, that dude. Everybody loved that dude.
I think they were saying they were trying to get a crossover, but I mean, both shows got shit canned. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted to do a crossover, but
Why didn't Stephen Amell try and get Swamp Thing in on Crisis on Infinite Earths? You know, I mean, fuck it. He's just throwing everybody's names around. He's like, I don't know.
Let's do this.
Jimmy Olsen from, not Jimmy Olsen, the other guy from Batman.
Oh yeah, the reporter that works with Vicky.
Yeah, he's like, see, we're tied to the '89 Batman movies. No, you're not, buddy.
No.
This is just the reporter guy. Get out of here. Anyway, Arrow, what a universe that was.
What a time to be alive.
I'm not gonna say a good universe. I'm just gonna say what a universe. You know.
What a time to be alive.
You know, it really was, Maggie.
It was.
All right. Anything else you want to say about Swamp Thing?
No, I mean, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm worth to get. I'm
the
up
thing.
to give it a shot.
Here's the thing, everybody. We're watching all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're gonna not.
We're not
watch
picking
any
and
of it.
choosing because
Yeah.
oh god, they didn't mention blah blah blah. You know?
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
If I've
Pricks.
already sat through one Aquaman movie and one Black Adam movie, all right, I'm committed at this point. Okay. Anyway,
We're all in, baby.
that's right. You know, ride together, die together. Bad Boys for life. They also announced the Bad Boys 4. We'll talk about that next week.
No, they did.
Next week. Come back
No,
for the
they
news.
didn't.
They did.
They
did.
did.
Anyway, next we're jumping into the television announcements. I think we'll have less to say about these. Well, except for one.
Except for
I'm gonna
one.
fucking go off, man. Holy fuck. All right, so the first one they announced, Creature Commandos.
Ooh. This sounds like a kid show.
Well, this animated series for HBO Max is the very first project greenlit by Safran and Gunn, who has written every episode. What? This show is already in production. The Creature Commando characters were first launched in 1980. The premise features... God damn it.
What?
The premise features Frankenstein's monster teaming up with a werewolf, a vampire, and a Gorgon to fight Nazis in World War II.
Yes, let's do it.
It doesn't appear that Gunn's version takes quite the same approach. Weasel, one of the characters from Gunn's 2021 film The Suicide Squad,
Which is his brother,
is one of the commandos, along with Rick Flag's father, Rick Flag Sr. Animation, Gunn said, allows their creative collaborators to tell stories that are gigantic but without spending, $50 million an episode.
Yeah.
Crucially, Gunn said that the actors cast to voice the characters on the show will also play the roles in live action later on in the DCU. That's interesting.
That'll be very interesting. I kind of like that, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You should cast with that in mind.
Yeah.
They actually... DC has a history of this.
Mm-hmm.
Green Arrow, or the Arrow, or whatever the hell it's called. They had a CW Seed show. They're like,
oh my god, I haven't heard that in forever.
Right.
Yes,
it's called Vixen, and it was like a 5-episode thing, and then she actually comes onto the real show, and it was the actress that played the voice of her.
Yeah.
So I mean, they do have a history of doing that sometimes. But it's great. I mean, just the fact that I was saying like I don't care about Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And yet this is like, this will have Frankenstein in it.
Monster in it.
It's
yeah.
like, God. All right. Anything else you want to say about that?
No,
All right.
no.
Next episode, or next show.
Next episode.
Waller. With Gunn with Gunn focused on Superman Legacy for the foreseeable future, Season 2 of Peacemaker has been put on hold. Instead, Team Peacemaker will appear alongside Davis as a continuation of the show, Gunn said, which, spoiler alert for Season 1 of Peacemaker, ended with Waller's daughter, Leota Adebayo,
I believe you got it.
Daniel Brooks, outing Task Force X, aka the Suicide Squad, and Waller's role running it to the world. Waller is set to take place between Peacemaker Season 1 and Season 2. Along with Crystal Henry, who was part of the DCU Writers Room, Waller will be executive produced by Jeremy Carver, who created the beloved DC series Doom Patrol, which was recently canceled by HBO Max. They are crushing it, Safran said of Henry and Carver's work on Waller. It's just the greatest show ever, Gunn said. Both Creature Commandos and Waller are expected to debut before Superman Legacy. Safran called them the aperitif for the DCU. Aperitif. Kind of like an alcoholic drink taken before a meal to stimulate the appetite. Good on him.
All right.
So, okay. I think that answers a little bit of our question about Superman, bringing in. It's like issue 0,
Yeah.
It's like the rebirth. It's like Flashpoint. You didn't have to read Flashpoint to understand the new 52, but it was there.
It was there.
It was there.
It was there.
With Etrigan the dragon.
Yes.
And the cricket. The Caddenberry cricket. That was his name. Seriously, Maggie. Seriously. Or Bug? Jitterbug?
That's the name of the cell phone company for senior citizens.
Jitterbug? Wait, hang on. Bug superhero DC Comics. What is his name? His name is Ambush Bug.
Ambush Bug.
But I'm pretty sure Caddenberry cricket. I'm pretty sure that's something.
Maybe.
DC Comics. There we go. His name was Cadbury Cricket?
Cadbury eggs?
Wait. Cadderberry Cricket.
Oh my God.
Canterbur.
Yeah.
Caddenberry Cricket.
He looks scary.
He was in Flashpoint.
It looks like a Fortnite character.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, listen, I'm calling it right now, all right? Before the first 10 years of this thing is done, we're getting a Cadbury Cricket is going to be in something. I don't know what.
And he'll get squashed.
Maybe. Maybe he's going to be with that worm at the post-credit scene of Shazam. You remember that fucking worm?
I know, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, is this the same situation as Shazam with the worm?
Oh my God.
Lord.
Remember when they teased Black Adam at the end of that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Moving on, the next series, which I'm just so excited about this.
He lost his mind.
Lanterns. Of all the TV series, Safran and Gunn seemed most excited for Lanterns, which Safran described as a huge HBO quality event that is very much in the vein of True Detective. Yes. The show will focus on two of the best known members of the Green Lantern Corps, Hal Jordan, the test pilot first played on screen by Ryan Reynolds in 2011.
Give him another chance.
And John Stewart, an ex-Marine and one of DC's first black superheroes, who investigate a mystery that Safran said plays a really big role leading up into the main story that we're telling across our film and television. So this is a very important show for us, Safran continued. The project is separate from a Green Lantern series that was being developed by Greg Berlanti for HBO Max, which is now no longer moving forward. Greg's vision was more of a space opera, Saffron said, "Our vision is much more true detective, terrestrial-based investigation story." That's all. That's all we got. Holy shitballs.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when they first showed this image, I loved it, first off. But the poster, like, Jon Stewart had, like, yellow.
Yeah.
And I was very confused by that. Obviously, they were using a lot of art from a lot of
Yeah.
different things. Like, the Superman art they used was from All-Star Superman, which also written by Grant Morrison, but it will have nothing to do with
Yeah.
this. Excuse me. So it was just interesting that was what they
Yeah.
were showing. But I love Green Lantern.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Green Lantern is what got me back into comics. I very briefly read comics in the early mid 90s when Superman died. And I got a few issues of Power Rangers and Master Rider #1 because Power Rangers were on the cover.
Yeah.
And then they messed up the whole continuity. Like they were trying to say like the Zordon and the guy, his grandfather, Master Rider's grandfather, were like buddies in a bowling tournament or some shit. They didn't say any of that, but anyway, so that's pretty much that was a lot of my extent of comics, except for shows. Like I watched Spider-Man, the cartoon series, X-Men, all that
here.
stuff.
I watched Batman.
But then Blackest Night happened.
Yeah.
And I got super into this.
Yeah.
Because they started bringing back like Cyborg Superman and like Superboy from Earth Prime, which was a whole thing. And I had to go back and read Infinite Crisis and Crisis on Infinite Earths and the Sinestro Corps Wars. And oh my God. And then when I found out about like the Blue Lanterns and stuff, like, geez, it's so good. All right. That whole thing is fantastic. This saying it's going to be like True Detective. That's an interesting call. That is a very interesting call on this. They are detectives.
They are
of some kind.
detectives.
I mean, they're space cops.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm down.
Yeah.
It'll just be nice to see Green Lantern in something. You know, I mean, I love Green Lantern.
Yeah.
The fact that we got robbed out of Jon Stewart
Yeah.
at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League is just a bunch of fucking
That's
shit.
crap.
You know, they're like, oh no,
Always.
he was Martian Manhunter the whole time. And he knew Bruce Wayne's parents, apparently.
Yeah. Like, I didn't read comics a whole lot until we started dating.
Yeah.
But I remember holding the issue of Batman where Bane breaks Bruce's back.
Yeah.
Because my brother had it.
You.
And he also had the death of Superman.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean, I
remember
feel
flipping
like-
through it, and I was like, what?
I feel like everybody our age had hands on that at some point. You know.
And he kept them underneath his bed, like where nothing could happen to him.
You know, that's like the most printed comic ever.
I could see that.
And like people were buying it because they were like, oh, this will be collector's item. It's like, I'm pretty sure they had to dump a bunch next to the ET cartridges in the desert. No, I'm kidding.
No, but I mean, whenever me and you started dating, there was like a whole entire trip to Dollywood. You explained to me
This sounds like me, actually. The entire plot.
the whole entire plot of Blackest Night and what each type of lantern is, what color it means.
And you never decided. The fact that you stayed with me after.
I remember I could not. He once he gets on a ball on something that he knows very, very well, you cannot get it in a word.
So you could say stuff if you want.
No, but you were like on a roll.
That's true.
I
know a
couldn't
lot.
stop him. So, and then me and you started looking at comic books again, and that's when I started getting back into it. But Green Lantern, I remember from just like, who's this dude with this ring, you know? Didn't quite understand it. And then the more I watched it, I caught on. And I was like,
the
this is pretty
coolest
cool.
superhero
It's
of all
awesome.
time.
Yeah.
You know, imagine whatever you imagine. You want to imagine a race car going down a Hot Wheels ramp? Boom.
Boom. You got it.
You want to imagine a fridge? Boom.
Full of food. Can you eat the food?
What's funny is like each one of the Earth Lanterns has like their own like sensibilities.
Yeah.
So like Hal's is very much like straightforward, right?
Yeah.
a big mallet or, like just whatever, right? Jon Stewart's is very mechanical.
Yeah.
Like when he imagines like a gun, he imagines like every piece of the gun, every screw and everything.
Because he's a Marine.
Yeah. Guy Gardner, I forget what his stuff was, but Kyle Rayner, he was an artist, so his was very abstract.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I bet that one was cool.
Yeah, and so like, especially when they first were like, when Hal Jordan first came back and they were all teaming up together.
Yeah.
It was just really cool, like having them explain why all four of these Green Lanterns are special in their own way.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fantastic. I still love that run. And then the White Lantern. Oh my God. Don't even get me started, Maggie. But yeah, if we get anything close to the Sinestro Corps Wars in this, oh my God, Maggie. Like, you don't even know.
I don't even know.
Oh my God, Maggie. Oh man, it'd be insane. And I know they wouldn't go as far as to get like the Anti-Monitor to be in it, but like,
oh no, let's not do that.
no, Maggie, listen, all right? You can't base your entire belief of the Anti-Monitor off of what you saw in the Arrow universe, okay? That was a CW version.
I'm still hanging the DC universe on Elongated Man.
That's fair. Did you know Faraday from Lost was Psycho Pirate in the Across the Sun Infinite Earth stuff?
What?
Yeah, that was Faraday. Remember he had the book? And when he did the Elseworlds, and he was like, oh, what if the Flash was Arrow and Arrow was the Flash? He used a lot of imagination with that.
Anime.
Anyway.
Anyway, no more remembering that trash.
God, remember they didn't even give Diggle the goddamn ring. They
No,
didn't
they
even
didn't.
give Diggle the goddamn ring. Just give him the ring.
Oh, they're still not going to give him the
They're
ring,
still
Matt.
not going to give him the
They're
ring.
still not going to give him the ring. He's still in that freaking outfit from Arrow and those new pictures. There's no ring on him. Like,
oh, yes, the super team of Arrow, Flash, Kid Flash, and biker guy.
Biker Diggle. Like,
oh, my God.
you...
At least they didn't make him like the Guardian Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl.
Guardian. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Let's not get... Yeah.
Martian Manhunter's dad was in Supergirl. Okay, we're moving on. The next one, Paradise Lost. I'm going to read all this, and then Maggie, you're going to talk about it.
Why?
This Game of Thrones-ish story, Saffron said, is set on the island of Themyscira before the birth of Diana, a.k.a. Wonder Woman. It's really about the political intrigue behind a society of all women, Saffron said. Added Gunn, how did that come about? What's the origin of an island of all women? What are the beautiful truths and the ugly truths behind all of that?
Cancel it.
And what's the scheming like between the different power players in that society? The provocative title recalls the Paradise Island Lost comics series authored by Phil Jimmins and George Perez, which followed a civil war of Themyscira. However, that run directly involved Wonder Woman. Okay. Also, no, I'm sorry. Paradise Lost, that's a
Different
reference
thing.
to something else.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think they're just really trying to tie it into DC.
I'm sorry. You
the
just
writer
described...
of this story.
Well, just the way Saffron was describing it. Game of Thrones-esque, got island filled with women, and how this government of women work together.
How does that work exactly? Like, isn't that weird? Like,
you know what? You know how it
Imagine
works.
just women
you know
in
how
government.
it works. You know how it works.
better.
We'll get crap done. That's what it is. Strong Amazonian women. We're gonna get it done.
Oh my God.
Anyways, just the way you described it, I said cancel it. Cancel it.
Honestly, this is the first one I've been like, oh God. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you gonna lead it into something, guys?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a big Game of Thrones guy.
I'm not
either.
either.
A big Lord of the Rings guy either. Like, I'm not really into that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the 300 Like just the magical. I don't know, 300 wasn't necessarily magical, but
Yeah.
like, just like the big warriors with
Yeah.
the big swords,
Yeah.
and and like, oh, they're all talking about like ether and thither, and fucking, I just get lost in the words like I'm goddamn Meg Ryan and You've Got Mail or something. You know what I mean?
But yet, you play Breath of the Wild.
But that's Zelda and Nintendo. Like, that's the exception, all right? Listen, when you've played Breath of the Wild, you don't need anything else magical, all right? Because you've had all the magic, baby, all right?
All right.
It's great.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong.
I'm not
okay?
wrong. I know I'm
But
not.
Nintendo knows how to tell a better story than J.R. Tolkien.
Oh, buddy.
I'm coming for you, Tolkien.
That's fighting words right there, buddy. They're going to be
Listen,
talking to you in Elfish and
I
everything,
would
man.
put Breath of the Wild against the entire Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and the appendix or whatever the fuck that other
Lord of the Rings fans, I
stuff,
apologize. I'm so sorry.
Listen, don't even get me started on the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Okay,
No, don't get them started on that.
Nah, I'm kidding. It was Jesus line.
It was those whole series of books
Mm-hmm.
is about the Bible.
Oh, I know. That's
That bro, he loved him some Jesus.
Professor X was a goat man in that.
Mr. Tumnus.
Do you remember Goat Boy?
Goat boy.
Oh, no. Sorry, not love. It
Yes.
was
Yes.
it was that guy. Not Breckenmeyer. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. From Half Baked.
Oh, Brewer, Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer, yeah.
Yes, I remember Goat Boy.
That's what they should have done. That's what they should have done
for Mr. Tumnus and the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Good God, man.
I'm gonna die. What is Narnia? Narnia. There we go. You know what I blame? Listen, my hatred for this shit, all right? It all goes back to one horrible fucking memory from my childhood, okay? No, close. The Never-Ending Story Part 2, all right? That's why I don't like any of this fantasy stuff, because that movie fucked me up as a child. He had to give up his memories. And like in the first one, the horse fucking drowned or something. There was a big dog, and like there was a lady who wasn't wearing anything, and I was only 5, but I was still intrigued by it, And like it was a lot of weird things, a lot of weird feelings going on. And then like the next day, I watched Return to Oz, and it was like just too much. It was too much. That's what I'm saying.
Dude.
So don't blame me for my past of being exposed to the worst fucking films set in the fantasy realm, all right?
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
I kind of think I get my love of all that stuff from my dad, because he likes watching it. Like, he actually enjoyed the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Potter's
know.
fun.
But
Except for the person that wrote it. She fucking sucks.
It's an old movie. Shoot. It's about Perseus.
Aragorn.
Perseus.
Clash of the Titans?
Clash of the Titans.
You watched Clash of the
Oh, yes. Multiple times, man. Loved Clash of the Titans. The old ass one.
Like the
The old one where the stop motion is the monsters.
Oh my god.
Loved it as a kid.
Oh,
Didn't understand what was going on half the time. Understood Medusa was
Yeah.
one bad girl, but like,
Yeah.
but like, I thought it was cool. I loved it.
I also watched that gnome show.
Oh yeah, on Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, I was exposed to just the wrong fantasy stuff. All right. That's the problem.
I know.
That's the problem.
I know what he needed.
I probably watched Black Cauldron. You know what I
Comment
mean?
below if you've watched this. Unico and the Island of Lost Magic.
What the fuck?
It's great, wasn't it?
I don't even. Did you even say words just now? Unico?
Unico, yes, it was an anime
Okay.
back in the 80s.
All right.
It was so good.
So yeah,
So sweet.
Themyscira, Paradise Lost.
Unico.
The only thing Paradise Lost makes me think of is the series finale of Alex Mack, which was called Paradise Lost. Secret World, man. She had the little vial, the cure, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna miss your powers." She's like, "Yep." And then she's like, "Well, I'll leave you to it." Annie, her sister, was like, "I'll leave you to it." She walks away, and then Alex Mag looks at the vial. She's getting ready to take it, and then she looks up, looks at the camera. Credits. She didn't take it. She kept her powers because it turned into a fucking
blob of mercury floating around.
No. She turned into Capri Sun, Maggie. That's
no,
what
no,
it was.
no. That's mercury.
That was Capri Sun.
No, it wasn't.
Remember the commercials?
I remember the commercials, but that's not Alex Mack.
It is.
Listen, my brother and I opened up one of those old butt thermometers.
My Brother and Me?
My Brother and I.
My Brother and Me was a show on Nickelodeon.
My brother and I.
Goo Punch.
Opened up one of those old thermometers
That's
that had
bad.
a mercury in it, and we had Alex Mack on our table.
That's toxic. That can like kill you.
We didn't touch it.
That I don't believe you.
We did touch it, Matt. My brother's like, "Don't you dare touch it. We're just looking at it." I'm like, "Okay."
How did you get it? Like, what'd you do with it?
He was the one that handled it. I don't know how he did it. And Mom got really mad because he broke a thermometer.
The next show, the last show they announced, the 10th. God, this has been going on a while.
My back hurts.
Booster Gold.
Yay!
Finally, there's Booster Gold, which allows the DCU to fully stretch into outright comedy. While he may not be familiar to casual fans of DC, the character, also known as Mike Carter, is a fan favorite among devoted readers. It's true. Safran called Booster a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. In the 25th century, Mike is a disgraced former football star who uses a time machine on display in Metropolis Space Museum. Added Gunn, basically, Booster Gold is imposter syndrome as a superhero.
Okay.
There you go.
I like it.
Gotta say, Booster Gold. Love Booster Gold.
So he's going to be a piece of crap that we wind up living.
So, like, Booster Gold, all right, he, if memory serves, him and his robot buddy Skeets. He's like, he kind of looks like Princess Leia's robot in
Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of looks like that. He's a little bit bigger. They're like, they watch over the museum. They're like the guards, like the night guards.
Okay.
And then he's like, oh shit, I could just take this back in time and be cool.
Yeah.
And then he gets sponsorships. So like one of the first times I ever saw him, he had like all these stickers on his super outfit. And like he had a billboard for like Slurm Cola or something. It was great.
That is great.
He's fantastic.
I like it.
He's just a huge joke. But they did a run, and I forget what book it was. I don't remember what book it was. Somebody help me. But it turned out that all this was bullshit. That he was actually a really good superhero, but he had to pretend to be like a terrible person to stay under the radar so he could like fix it. I forget what it was, but there was like 2 boosters at one point.
Cool.
At one point, Batman in the Tom King run, him and Booster did something. They fucked up the timeline.
I was supposed to say, I bet Bruce wants to kill him.
Yeah, Bruce was pissed.
Yeah.
Because I think it was his wedding gift to him. He took him to a timeline where his parents hadn't died.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah. I think it was his wedding gift. But anyway, I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, his son in the comic that I was reading, again, don't remember it, was the guy, you've not watched it, so it's not going to work, from Legends of Tomorrow, he played in Doctor Who. You know what I'm talking about? With Amy. Rory?
Yeah, Rory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he was the captain of the ship that they took in Legends of Tomorrow. He's like Booster Gold's son. But the timeline's all fucked up. It's because like he's older than Booster. But like it's because Booster, I don't even know. Yeah. And then there was like a third one. And they were like the Time Masters. It was a thing, man. It was a whole thing.
Clock stoppers?
It really felt honestly, it started, that book specifically felt like Quantum Leap.
Yeah. Love me some Quantum Leap.
Yeah. Like he in this
Old
one,
one.
in this one run, he had to go back and like something had happened in the timeline.
Yeah.
That screwed up stuff. Probably an outlier from like the Crisis on Infinite Earth or something. And things didn't happen the way they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And so he had to go make sure the events of DC's past actually happened the way they were supposed to.
Wow.
Like one of them was Guy Gardner got Hal Jordan's ring.
Oh gosh.
And so Hal Jordan never became
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, which screwed up like everything.
All the Green Lanterns there. Yeah.
So like he had to go back and like knock out Guy Gardner. Like he had to punch him in the face or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. So yeah, this will be great. I don't know if they're gonna do any of that.
Yeah.
But you know, he's just a fun character.
Mm-hmm. He sounds like it.
Nathan Fillion. Please listen. I know we already got Blue Beetle movie coming out, and it's gonna be the guy from Cobra Kai, right? That's fine. Ted Cord could still be played by Alan Tudyk. All right, you do Blue and Gold, Alan Tudyk, Nathan Fillion. I'm saying, like, we just do it. All right, why not? At least one episode. You know, we go to the alternate timeline. Turns out they're Blue and Gold. You know, come on. Just for once, give me something. Please.
Something to believe in.
Just give me something.
They took fire. They took Firefly away.
Bastards. How long do you think it is before Disney starts minding that?
I don't think
They
they'll
own
touch
it.
it.
They
I know
own
they own it.
Nah, they'll touch it. If there's any money to squeeze from a franchise, you better believe Disney and Hulu will absolutely squeeze that lemon. All right. And get the juice. Real juice, drink it up. All right. Anything else you want to say about Booster Gold?
No.
All right. Next up. So we've touched on all the new things they've announced, but then there's a lot of cleanup after, which is about as long as everything we've already covered.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and speed through this a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost my place. The execs were light on some specifics. No directors have been attached to any projects, and no actors are attached either. The exception is Viola Davis, of course. Similarly,
I have a hard time with that word too.
Safran and Gunn left the door open for Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Zachary Levi to continue playing their respective DC superheroes of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, and Shazam. But Gunn reiterated that Henry Cavill will not continue as Superman. He's like, I just want to be clear. Henry Cavill will not be Superman.
I bet somebody said, do you have something against him?
Like, the fact that he just keeps reminding everybody, like, at every turn, this is not Henry Cavill. I just think it's funny. Otherwise, the exec said they will be casting new actors in the roles. Peter Safran teases Aquaman 3 is happening. Quote, Jason always saw Aquaman as a trilogy. So there you go. Peter Safran
Ladies, you get your man in the water shirtless.
My man. Breast like a bat.
I dig it. I can dig it.
Okay. Sorry, I had nothing.
Jesus, my man.
The guy as it comes out on Christmas. What am I talking about?
I'm sorry.
Peter Safran said the door is open for further collaborations with Miller after the Flash standalone opens on June 16th. All right, now we're going to read this whole thing, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay.
Go away.
Ezra is completely committed to their recovery, Safran said, and we are fully supportive of that journey that they're on right now. When the time is right, when they feel like they're ready to have the discussion, we'll all figure out what the best path forward is. But right now, they are completely focused on their recovery. And in our conversations with them over the last couple of months, it feels like they're making enormous progress. When Gunn and Safran took the DC reins in October, there was a great deal of speculation that the 4 upcoming DC movies greenlit by the previous DC Warner's regime, Shazam, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman. So I guess it's just called The Flash.
Yeah.
Lost it, and an Aquaman sequel were viewed as lame ducks, but Gunn quickly dispelled that notion by characterizing The Flash in the most laudatory term possible. I will say here, quote, "The Flash is probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made," Gunn said. The pair said Shazam sets up the Andy Muschietti directed The Flash, which resets everything, according to Gunn. He declined to spell out exactly how the Miller-led standalone resets everything because the movie is plot-driven and would contain spoilers. The Flash then segues into Blue Beetle, which flows into Aquaman 2, which will then lead into a new Superman film. Safran and Gunn's enthusiasm for The Flash in particular bodes well for Miller, whose erratic behavior during the COVID pandemic began to alarm studio executives and fans. Added Safran, "These 4 movies are terrific. There's no reason why any of the characters and the actors playing those characters are not part of the DCU. There's nothing that prohibits that from happening." Now, there is another piece about Zachary Levi. I think I'm going to go ahead and read that because I feel like we're going to have a similar conversation about both.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sorry. All right. My gosh. James Gunn was asked to weigh in on Zachary Levi's seemingly anti-vax tweet from over the weekend. The filmmaker said, "Making business decisions and agreeing with someone are not mutually exclusive." Quote, "Just real simply, actors and filmmakers that I work with are going to say things that I agree with and things that I don't agree with," Gunn said. "And that's going to happen. I don't have a list of things that somebody should say because of what I think. And you know, I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something I don't agree with. By the same token, if somebody's doing something morally reprehensible, then that's a different story," Gunn added. "We have to take all that stuff into account. It's a balance. It's modern world, and it's a different place." So we'll pause there.
So
Sorry, I'm gonna pop a Ricola.
So we're just gonna let everything lie as it is.
I think basically, I don't know. There's a couple ways to read this. One could be they know these movies are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They know that they have to make money,
Yes.
and so they're trying to not outright say this matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Goodness.
I don't know what's going on.
Do you need a drink?
No, I've still got some. They're not saying like, Ezra Miller is 100% coming back to be the Flash.
Yeah.
But they're also not saying that they're not.
Yeah.
And I think, that could be read as not wanting to lose money off of a movie that
That's
cost
true.
them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That could be the case. Zachary Levi's thing literally just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe they knew it'd probably come up, but they haven't really thought it all the way through of what does this actually mean?
Yeah.
They probably told him to shut the hell up if I
I'd
had to
say
guess.
his PR team did.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
But especially, the marketing for that is really starting to get underway.
Yeah.
And so, again, they don't want to torpedo it before it even
No.
comes out. So just from a business standpoint, I could see that being the case.
Yeah.
Now, if we take their words at surface value, like with what exactly they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly, it's tough
Yeah.
because on the one hand, and these are two very different situations, but obviously on one hand, Ezra Miller allegedly did a bunch of bullshit that is outrageous, incomprehensible, and should not be tolerated, right? Yeah. Zachary Levi has shared opinions being against vaccines. He's apparently talked really good about somebody that's very anti-transgender.
Yeah. Transphobic.
Yeah. And so, both of the, that is very stupid, right? It just shows a lack of intelligence
Yes.
on his part. and I mean, I don't mean that because he said it. I mean that because he feels that way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, you can say everybody's open to having their own opinion on stuff, and that's great. It doesn't mean that you're not completely wrong, though.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're free to have that opinion. You're also free to, you know, die of COVID. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we'll just kind of leave it at that. So as far as the Ezra Miller side, we'll start there. If what Gunn is saying is true, that they've realized everything they've gone through is horrible. They want to make it right.
Yeah.
You know, that they were in a bad place. They're getting mental help. They are seeking to make things right. I 100% support that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's just a lie, just to get the movie going, then obviously I'm like, that'll cause me to not watch anything DC if they're just lying to us about it, you know. But if there is a genuine, you know, ask for forgiveness, right? If there's a genuine sorry and need to change, I think everybody deserves that chance. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have to pay for the stuff that they did, you know, the things that they are proven to have done, right? I'm not saying they should not have to go to jail or pay whatever. I'm not saying any of that. But I'm saying if somebody wants to change, we should be happy that someone doesn't want to be a dickbag anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the thing. And I mean, you know, obviously we can tell you with a grain of salt and, you know, stay at arm's length away from it. You know, I'm not saying we just immediately start trusting and be like, Ezra Miller's doing good. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, you know, if we want a society of humanity that, you know, can grow, then we have to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
For the people that do shitty things too.
Yeah.
You know, as far as Zachary Levi goes, I don't know. I mean, it's a bad opinion.
Yeah.
You know, we dealt with a similar thing with Wakanda Forever. You know, there was a main actor that was tweeting some anti-vax rhetoric. So, I mean, it's one of those things. And honestly, I think James Gunn kind of says it well when he says, actors and filmmakers that I work with, I'm not going to agree with everything they say. And I can't change my plans because they say something I disagree with. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I kind of agree. Like, I mean, obviously, I would want to work with people that aren't actively destroying humanity.
That is true.
But I mean, you know, I've reached a point, especially with all of this specific stuff from the past 3 years, that, you know, we can only do what we can do for ourselves, and that's all we can do.
Yeah, and we can't control other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they want to make a choice that negatively impacts themselves, don't get me wrong, I know that also impacts people that can't protect themselves,
yeah.
You know, the immune compromised. But, you know, again, that's if they want to be anti-vax and get sick and die and stuff, like, that's, you know,
yeah.
I can't be, it's not up to me to fix that.
No.
You know, and it can't be up to James Gunn to fix that. Like, that, this is something wrong with the world that needs to be addressed. True. You know what I mean? This is beyond just the scope of a movie studio.
Yes.
It's like people complaining about Mr. Beast, you know, fixing 1,000 people's blindness.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, it's ridiculous we live in a world that one person has enough wealth to do that. It's also ridiculous we live in a world that one person can give healthcare to 1,000 people, and the world can't do it itself. You know, so I mean, the issue isn't necessarily the person; it's the underlying factor
of the
world being a shithole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I think we can. It's going to be tough, and I think we're just going to have to play it, you know, by ear. You know, each on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
You know, like, are we going to go watch the new Shazam movie? I don't know. I mean, maybe at this point after reading this, I'm more inclined to go watch it. But at the same time, if he just really goes hard on it, then no, I don't want to support somebody that is that causing, you know, bringing more thought to, you know, confusing people and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. It's hard. It's tough. you know. And I mean, I don't think there's anybody. I don't think if you go watch Shazam or The Flash, like, I'm not going to judge anybody that does that.
No.
You know, I mean, it may not be what we choose to do, and it may be what we choose to do. I don't know. It's a complicated question, you know. Lucy's having fun in there. But I mean, all we can do is make the choice for ourselves, and I'm not going to judge other people for making their decision.
Yeah.
If it's somebody's absolute favorite superhero, you know,
Yeah.
The Flash or Shazam or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, or if they just want to escape into a comic book movie for a couple hours because the rest of the world sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not going to fault them for that, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, as long as they know, you know, what is correct, you know, I mean, as long as they're not like, I'm anti-vax too, I'm going to go support my anti-vax friends, you know, then, I mean, you know, I honestly, you know,
Yeah.
they're the ones that have to make that call, you know. I mean, I don't really know how better to say it, you know.
I think you said it well.
Thank you. I was trying. It's like when they said, you know, it's not the people that vote for this are racist.
Yeah.
It's that racism wasn't enough to keep them from voting for this. You know what I mean? Like, voting for this doesn't make you racist, but you are saying that being racist is not a deal breaker. And like, that's where we're at with this, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll leave that at that. Next up, did you want to say anything about? Okay. I feel like I kind of.
You said it well.
Thanks. It's tough. It's a hard conversation to have. Because it's just so nuanced, you know?
Yeah.
So, while Gunn and Safran are developing a new DC universe, Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2, recent name, will remain a standalone property and fall under the newly branded DC Elseworlds category. Gunn announced that any DC film or television series that is set outside of the main DC universe will get the DC Elseworlds tag, exactly how DC Comics functions. I've read a lot of the Elseworlds books. A lot of them are really fun. I love a lot of those. There's one where it's a kid. His name is Clark Kent, and he reads comics.
Yeah.
Like, and his parents named him after, like, their last names are Kent, and they named him Clark, named after Superman. And so, like, he hates Superman because everybody's always making, like, Superman jokes and stuff. But then he starts flying. Like, it's a whole thing. Superboy Prime is kind of based off it, or this is kind of based off Superboy Prime. But yeah, it was a good book. I forget what it was called. In addition to the Batman Part 2, with the newly announced release date of October 25th, 2025, the DC Elseworlds roster of upcoming projects include Todd Phillips' Joker, Folie à Deux, with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, set for release on October 4th, 2024, the ongoing animated series Teen Titans Go, and, oddly enough, everybody, this is crazy, and a separate Superman movie produced by J.J. Abrams. The latter project was first announced in 2021 and remains in active development. Gunn and Safran said they are eagerly awaiting a draft of Coates' screenplay.
Oh, wow.
So that movie's still happening, apparently.
Wow.
I'm just surprised
I'm
that it's
shocked
still
too.
happening. And it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do it, you know. But it's crazy that it's still happening. I figured that would have ended by now. In addition to the Batman Part 2, Reeves is also gearing up to shoot a spin-off series centered on Colin Farrell's Penguin character.
Yeah.
Reeves said earlier this month that he was meeting with Gunn to ensure that the Batverse and the larger DC universe would support each other and not crash together in terms of storytelling. So not a lot here that we didn't already know,
Yeah.
but just an interesting way to tie it all up in
Yeah.
a nice little bow, saying like, here's the main universe. Anything not in this will be labeled Elseworlds, so we can still tell standalone stuff if we want to.
Yeah.
Which is a good idea. The plan, Safran and Gunn said, was to release roughly 2 films and 2 TV series per year into the DCU. That output will not, however, sacrifice quality to meet deadlines. Gunn and Safran were adamant that films and series will not go into production until scripts are finished, which is not the norm for pricey tentpoles that need to create awareness by planting flags on the calendar. Quote, people have become beholden to release dates. to getting movies made no matter what, Gunn said of the modern studio habit of scheduling tentpole films and sequels for theatrical release long before creative teams come together. I'm a writer at my heart, and we're not going to be making movies before the screenplay is finished. Gunn said that even films with front-loaded release dates will be pushed down the calendar if the script is not ready prior to production. I've seen it happen again and again. It's a mess. It's the primary reason for the deterioration in quality of films today versus 20 to 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, he goes hard here. The degradation of the writer in Hollywood has been a terrible story, Gunn said. It's gotten much worse since I first moved here 23 years ago. Writers have been completely left out of the loop in favor of actors and directors, and making the writer more prominent and more important in the process is really important to us.
Get him, James.
Gunn added that he believes superhero fatigue is a real thing, largely because of the lack of care given to the writing process. Read between the lines on this. They make these movies where they don't have third acts written, he said, and then they start writing them during production, making them up as they're going along. And then you're watching a bunch of people punch each other and there's no flow even to the action. Added Safran, it's bad movie fatigue. In order to avoid that issue, Gunn and Safran said they are aiming to diversify the kinds of stories they're telling at DC Studios. You can't be telling, this is great, you can't be telling the same good guy, bad guy, giant thing in the sky, good guys win story again, Gunn said. You need to tell stories that are more morally complex. You need to tell stories that don't just pretend to be different genres, but actually are different genres. Like, damn, man.
Man, let's just crap all over it, y'all.
I'm just surprised that, I mean, I get what he's saying, and I do agree.
I agree, too.
But, I mean, like, I don't know how much of that is directly pointed at Marvel, but, I mean, it is definitely... There's something to that. You know what I mean? The pretending to be another genre. Like, come on. He's not wrong. And the giant thing in the sky. I mean, my God, that was straight up just like, 3 of the Avengers films?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Eternals.
The desire for more wide-ranging stories could also translate into greater variety of filmmaking voices. It's not the Gunverse, Gunn said. What makes it so fun is to see stories that are completely different as the individual expression of the writers and directors that are making those projects, and not about me superimposing something on top of that. Him saying it's not the Gunverse, I feel like is a direct thing to the Snyderverse. That's just my opinion. As everyone here probably knows, this is still him quoting. As everyone here probably knows, the history of DC is pretty messed up. It was fucked up, Gunn said. Gunn name-checked TV series spearheaded by TV super producer Greg Berlanti, like Arrow and The Flash, the feature films run by Zack Snyder until Joss Whedon took the reins of the wildly panned Justice League, leading to a fan campaign that resurrected Snyder's original vision, which debuted on HBO Max in 2021, and more recent adaptations, Matt Reeves' The Batman, and Gunn and Safran themselves, The Suicide Squad. Peppered throughout were disappointments and busts such as last fall's Black Adam or Birds of Prey. And by disappointment, I think it just means return.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Black Adam was a disappointment for sure, but Birds of Prey didn't make enough money, but it was a really good movie.
It was good.
Peter Safran says, oh yeah, you're not going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Peter Safran says, Batgirl was not releasable. I actually think that David Zaslav and the team made a very bold and courageous decision to cancel it because it would have hurt DC.
Man, I still want to see it.
No one was minding the mint, Gunn said. They were just giving away IP like they were party favors to any creators that smiled at them. The co-leaders rejoiced at having one unified creative voice behind DC, one that will encompass movies, series, animation, and gaming. But given their parent company CEO David Zaslav's commitment to shedding debt and cutting costs, there's wiggle room in how and where these projects manifest, especially for series. Quote, we have the ability to sell outside of HBO Max if that makes sense, Safran said. So we'll figure out if there are certain shows coming up that would be better served elsewhere, or if there's not real estate on HBO Max for us. but we like the idea of having shows on Amazon and Hulu and Netflix. It just broadens the DC audience. The end.
The end. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Only an hour and a half. So a lot there at the end.
Yeah.
Just about how, like, really just giving it to DC from the previous years, which, I mean, I guess you have to show that you know that there were issues.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you got to.
I mean, it's not holding back. Again, you remember what I said when we first found out James Gunn was going to become co-head?
Yeah.
I said it was like prison. He had to go in and knock the biggest dude out that he could, you know?
Henry Cavill.
It's like DJ Qualls and the new guy. You know, you got to take him out.
Oh, Lord.
And, I mean, he didn't hold back here. I mean, calling out Zack Snyder. I mean, the fact that they even referenced Batgirl and said that was a good decision. Like, that's wow. Which, that was Safran. That was Peter Safran. That was not James Gunn that said that.
Yeah, James Gunn won't say it because he probably knows the person that wrote it or at least directed it.
Yeah. I mean, and to not get to at least release your film,
Yeah.
like something that you've worked on creatively, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people are going to look at Batgirl the way that we look at, like, the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know, the old Fantastic
the
Four
old
that never got to
Fantastic.
come out.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a documentary about that one day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised there's not already one, to be honest. But yeah, definitely the fact that they also included that if there's not real estate on HBO Max for us, that they're going to drop on other platforms. The fact that that's baked in, I think is good. I mean, that's good news. You know, we're not beholden to, what's that dude's name? Zaslav, you know? Like if Zaslav is like, we gotta cancel the Last of Us. It's too much money, and they're like, but this is the highest rated show on television.
Doesn't matter.
We've got 30 million viewers an episode. We could put Barker Brothers on here for $20 a day, and boom, look at us. Look at us. We're doing great. You know, what's Rachel Ray up to these days? Get her on here. She make a 30-minute meal, costs $20. Boom, we got a series. You throw a bone in there, you got a stew going.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
But so that definitely makes me happy that they're not totally beholden to HBO.
Our
Max.
other child's barking in the other room.
Lucy, not our actual child. The furry child.
The furry child.
Yeah. Maggie, thoughts?
Uh,
And don't forget about the fatigue that they also talked about.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, just talking to some of my coworkers are like, I don't know where to start at. I'll be like, just start this one. You don't need to watch that part. You're going to get tired of it really quick.
Yeah, if you try to marathon the entire MCU now.
Yeah. Oh, God.
With all the shows and everything. Imagine getting a Black Widow and being like, oh, I've still got like a lot more to go.
Yeah. I agree with the fatigue thing because like, like they announce something, you get excited about it. And then you go watch it and you're like,
Is this about Multiverse of Madness?
No.
Oh, okay. What are you talking about?
Black Panther.
Oh, Wakanda Forever? Yeah. I mean, that was going to be a mixed bag.
Like just that last act.
Yeah.
I feel like it just...
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There. And I mean, obviously, reasons beyond their control.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, I definitely... I think this is the first year that I've really started feeling fatigue in Marvel. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's because of me or if it's because of the quality. I feel like some of their stuff that they've done over the past year just wasn't there. Multiverse of Madness didn't hit the way I wanted it to. The way it should have. You know, I mean, this is like their big,
I agree.
This is like their big post Endgame movie. You know? And like, I mean, hopefully Quantumania is good. It just Phase 4 just felt all over the place. It felt like they didn't have an idea, and it was almost like Phase 4 was like a bye week
Yeah.
You know, they're like, we're going to keep putting stuff out, but we're not
Well,
going
none of
to
it
move. We're not going to
matters.
move anything forward. We're just going to release this stuff.
None of
you
it
know?
really matters, guys.
I don't know. Throw the X-Men theme song in here. It'll be fun. Well, are you saying that it's part of the X-Men? No. Just
Guess what? We can finally say the word that we can't say. Oh, the F word? No.
Mutants.
But yeah, I'm feeling the fatigue from superhero stuff. Because, I mean, it's not only Marvel.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not only Marvel. It's, Amazon's got The Boys.
Well, wait.
No.
Okay.
Just hear me out.
Okay, I'll hear you out.
There's also animes that are about superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, it's everywhere. And I'm not... Listen, I love The Boys. I love Invincible. I love My Hero Academia. They're very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is set.
Yeah.
And they know what they're working with.
Yeah.
And like James Gunn said, like, the whole entire screenplay is not even written where they start rolling.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people's frustrations are coming from, is from that problem. And I like the fact that he is too a writer.
Yeah.
He's been a director of multiple movies. He's wrote multiple movies.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps in that aspect because Saffron, he's been on the producing side for forever.
Yeah.
For Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And I think Saffron's got the producing side and like running a business side.
Yeah. But James wants to tell a good story.
James wants to tell a good story, and he's going to make sure it's going to be told the right way.
Yeah.
And that makes me really hopeful.
Yeah.
And all the projects that they have planned, some of which I probably don't know anything about them. But,
I mean, I don't know a lot about a lot of these.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I know who Ambush Bug is.
Yeah. Caterpillar cricket. Or grasshopper or whatever he's called.
It's cricket.
It was a cricket.
Right. Yeah.
And I liked how they handled those situations with, Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
And Ezra Miller. I was trying to remember their name. Yeah, and The Rock. And I also agree that there's too many times that actors get their fill of, I want this to happen.
I mean, DC is extremely responsible for that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of DC was, like, a lot of the issues in a lot of the DC stuff was because of one person.
Yeah.
Whether it was the director or the actor or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of issues.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
It was because they were given too much to just one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, which we say as they give the entire universe to James Gunn,
But which...
It's a different story.
Yeah, that's
a different thing.
That's a different thing. And also, he says he's writing Superman in that video.
Yeah.
And that he's very excited about it. Which, I mean, makes us excited. Because we know... I mean, from the things that we've watched him do and the things that we know he wrote, we know it's going to be worth it.
He can nail it. Like he can totally nail the tone, and he can make Superman likable, and not overpowered.
And also like the fact that they said if something is not done, we're not going to rush it.
Yeah,
we're going to push it back.
We're not going to film without a script.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you don't turn in a paper to your English teacher without, the last few pages of your conclusion or whatever. And expect an A+.
Yeah. Transformers 2 was shot during the writer's strike. Like, I think they got, like, the first 20 pages done, and Bay was like, we'll figure it out. That's why that movie is just all over the place. That's why the one Transformer has balls. Because Bay was like, what if we had a girl that is a Transformer and she's like gonna lick him, but then she's a Transformer? And what if we got a guy that kind of looks like Matt Damon That's all I have.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
But just hearing them through that press conference, they handled it well, I think.
I agree.
And James Gunn's enthusiasm in his video that he posted up on Twitter and stuff.
It's a great video.
Yeah, it is. It makes you feel good.
Yeah. So when you say that you're having the superhero fatigue, like, do you mean that, like, you're getting tired of seeing them, or you just want something? Like, what do you mean by that, I guess?
I mean, it's like what they said. Oh, God, there's something up in the sky. Or, the good guy's going to fight the bad guy. Like, they don't have some things, let me put it that way, don't show it from the perspective of a bad guy or a villain.
Yeah.
Most things don't.
Yeah.
And I think what one franchise is doing, I think they need that side.
What are you talking about?
Like Marvel. Like,
okay.
all it is
Gotcha.
Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things I like about it. But like,
yeah, totally. And it's okay to not.
But like, yeah. But we've gotten thing after thing after thing after thing of there's a good guy, there's a bad guy.
The bad guy has the powers of the good guy.
Yeah,
now they gotta fight.
And they gotta fight, and the good guy's gonna win, and the bad guy's either gonna become friends with them, or they're gonna run off, or they die.
Or all three.
Or all three. And, where's, like, I remember everybody getting so hyped up about and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Oh, the U.S. agent? Or
No.
Anthony Mackie?
No, the bad guy from...
Oh, Zemo?
Yeah, Zemo.
Yeah.
Everybody loving Zemo in that one episode because he's dancing out in a club.
Yeah.
And, like, he was actually helping them out.
Yeah.
But we all know that he's, like, a really bad guy.
Yeah.
And, we just got a taste of that. And then, bam, he was gone.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see him anymore.
Yeah.
And then we was introduced to some other bad person in that show. And we're like, oh. But which I understand that they had to change a lot to that script.
Yeah.
Understandably. But, like...
So I guess my question to you specifically about the fatigue. So it's not just, you're not fatigued by superheroes in general.
No.
You're getting fatigued by the same old Marvel formula.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like, you love The Boys.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia. Like, if you were feeling fatigued just on the superhero genre in general, then you wouldn't want to watch any of that stuff.
No, I wouldn't.
But so you're saying, like, really it's more just Marvel has been dragging their feet.
Yeah.
And you really
Like,
feel like they need to,
Yeah.
And I mean, beyond just the MCU, like, I mean, obviously the most recent X-Men movies, most recent DC movies, like, I get what you're saying. Like, Black Adam was a by-the-numbers superhero movie.
Yeah.
And so I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you think Quantumania, do you think that's going to hopefully break that mold?
I think it will. I hope it does, because I'm looking forward to Jonathan Majors as Kang.
Yeah.
And I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I love Ant-Man. I love that little family.
Yeah.
And it'll be exciting to see Cassie working with her dad.
Ants.
And
Ants. Sorry.
It's okay. And I just hope, that feeling that we had whenever we watched Black Panther with Killmonger,
Yeah.
We fell in love with Killmonger.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
We actually agreed with him,
on a lot of things.
And
not
like,
so much the killing children that he went to in the third act, but before that, he was right.
But like, we're missing some of that pizzazz, from a villain. Like, whenever I was a kid watching Sleeping Beauty, oh, woe is Aurora. She touched the pin on a spinning wheel and she went to forever sleep, But I thought that the coolest thing was...
Sorry, I just realized that was a reference to, like, I just realized Once Upon a Time made a reference to Sleeping Beauty that I didn't realize before. So sorry.
But like, I loved the villain Maleficent.
Yeah.
Even though, as a child, when that fireplace opens up and it gets pitch black dark and she starts hollering out, Aurora, and that music plays, it used to freak me out. But
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
To this day, I get hyped whenever I think about it. Or
Yeah.
Ursula, you know? Like,
A good villain.
yes.
Yeah.
Good villains.
Jafar.
Yeah. Villain. I don't ever like him. He's a creepy old man.
Gilbert Godfrey's parrot. Iago.
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 Control yourself.
I'm not even going to attempt
No.
to do a Gilbert Godfrey impression.
Don't hurt yourself. But, I miss having, the villain you could,
Enjoy to hate.
enjoy to hate.
Homelander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy to hate or enjoy to love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That's how I feel. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, they've lost their villain pizzazz.
I mean,
the way.
Did they ever have it? I mean, let's just being real,
I mean,
I can probably count on one hand the amount of villains I actually liked
Yeah.
in Marvel.
yeah.
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 But I mean, like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, look at Loki. Probably the best Phase 4 thing that we got. I mean, Thor, Love and Thunder, like the God Butcher. I mean,
Yeah.
he was great. He didn't get enough time.
No.
You know?
No, he didn't.
Like, I mean, if we could have really got more of
More
him,
of
I mean,
him,
I
yeah.
would have loved that. I thought
Yeah.
the reason he was doing stuff was great.
yeah.
But you're right. I mean, like Eternals. I feel like Shang-Chi was kind of. I mean, like we had,
Yeah.
he was great, and like his dad was there, but like the thing that was like confusing his dad or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
That
like,
wasn't
yeah.
dove into as much
Miss
as
Marvel?
it should. Yeah.
I can't even tell you what the bad guy was. In Miss
I was
Marvel.
actually thinking about Miss Marvel because it's like, oh, here's the possible bad guy. Oh, we're friends. I think I might like him. Nope, he's family. Oh, guess what? He's going to have the same powers as you, and you're going to have to fight him. But you got to protect him in the end and save him.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't remember any of that.
I remember the last act, like
And,
the whole
like-
last episode.
I mean, obviously, No Way Home was good, but even Multiverse of Madness, like Wanda's stuff. I mean, after seeing WandaVision, which was fantastic,
Yeah,
and then going into Multiverse of Madness, it just felt like
Like,
WandaVision was a huge
she-
waste of time.
Yeah, we would have been behind, Doctor Strange and America Chavez.
Yeah.
Been behind her, because, they're the good guys. They're going to try to fix the
Yeah.
situation. America Chavez can open up portals.
Yeah.
But Wanda, they missed the mark with her because, number one, she lost her children. Number two, she lost the love of her life. Hello, never mentions
Never even
Vision.
mentioned it. Yeah. They never even talk about it.
Never.
He's not even in the other universe.
No. But they missed that mark of where they could have used her love of a mother a little bit more.
I mean, there could have been a lot.
A lot
better.
more. And she could have been the Michael B. Jordan of that.
Yeah. I mean, to have built up Wanda over the course of WandaVision, to then just
Throw it away.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that was the biggest issue with it. Was it felt like, one, we wasted our time watching WandaVision, and two, like they didn't even watch WandaVision when they
Yeah.
wrote the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
The dude's probably pretty busy. I can't think of his name.
Raimi.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam Raimi. Yeah.
He is pretty
He's
busy.
like, I ain't got time to watch 9 episodes of this shit. She's a witch, right? Okay, she's the bad guy. Like, her name's the Scarlet Witch, so she's the bad guy,
We're
right?
gonna put some creepy stuff all around the place.
What?
Let's do it, guys.
She wants kids, so it's like a Hansel and Gretel situation.
No,
okay,
no,
got
sir,
it,
sir,
got it.
sir. It's not like Hansel
Got
and
it.
Gretel. No,
Moving on.
no, she doesn't want to eat
All right.
them, sir.
Make me a cape of demons.
That was totally his order there.
I want to see man-thing statues. All right.
We need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think what they're doing makes sense. I've got good hopes for it.
Me too.
One thing I didn't put on here, Dave Bautista said he wanted to play Lex Luthor, so we'll see. Also,
Dave Bautista in the news about another thing. He doesn't know why he can't be in rom-coms. Why can't he star?
I don't understand.
He wants to be like
No,
the
I get
leading,
it.
yeah,
I get it.
but nobody's putting him in one.
I
Like if he
mean-
tries for it, I'm like, bruh, you big old buff dude.
You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't do a lot of rom-coms, you know?
He did a lot of comedies.
Yeah. I mean, Batista did that one with the little girl where he was a spy or something.
Yeah, we never watched that one.
Yeah. I mean, it looked
We watched
terrible.
the one with him and
Stuber?
yeah, Stuber.
Yeah. Stuber was great.
It was great. It was
I'm
fun.
going to close out the show with this last
Okay.
fan theory about Dave Bautista's character in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
So basically, the idea is that his species,
Yeah.
right, their size is based off movement, like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And so when he, because remember he looks at Groot, baby Groot, right,
Yeah.
and baby Groot freezes, and then he just kind of like looks away,
Yeah.
right, and then baby Groot starts dancing again. So there's that, and that maybe he thinks that everyone is like that. So like if you're not moving, he can't really like make it out.
So that's why he keeps on eating.
That's why he thinks if he doesn't move at all, that he's invisible, because that's how he actually sees the world. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a decent thought. I mean, there's nothing to actually give that,
Wow.
but I mean, it's a decent thought.
It
I mean,
is.
I'd like it if that was the case. I think it was more just a joke, but you know, that's it.
All right, everybody.
Hey everybody, we hope you enjoyed this DC episode of the Hopefully Awesome Show. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about some movies we've watched. We'll talk about some news, Tron. Maybe. Who knows what else is going to happen between now and then.
Avatar could happen again.
It's in the top 4 now. Top 4 films
Yeah,
of all
that's true.
time.
James Gunn could talk
But
more.
I still don't think it's technically a success yet, because it has to cross 300 million or 3 billion. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway,
Anyways,
but let us know what you thought in the comments. Do you like what DC's pumping out? Do you think Batista should be in rom-coms?
he should give him a chance.
Should he? Let's see. We'll watch Nog of the Woods and find out if he should be in more stuff or not. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us this week, everybody. Remember, if you'd like to get this show ad-free, you can head over to patreon.com/hopefullyawesome, where you can help support the show, as well as many other exclusive goodies, such as our movie commentary. We just did Cloverfield. It was great.
I fell asleep on the couch while watching.
It was fantastic. She loved it. As well as many other things. So again, you can head over to patreon.com/hopefullyawesome if you would like to, or if you don't have bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can just support us by leaving a like, subscribe, thumbs up, and just share us around with your friends. You know, think about it like it's a naughty mag that you're not supposed to have, and so you're showing up to class and you're like, hey guys, check what I found out by the railroad tracks. Look at this. Titties.
God, that was the longest wheeze I've ever heard you do.
But thanks for watching. And as always,
Have a hopefully awesome day. God, man.
bye.